Hey, everybody. I'm Daren Bobb. Welcome to 5 News Plus. Thanks for joining us here. Feel free to look around on 5 News Plus. It is really a fantastic place to find out all the information, news, weather, and sports provided by 5 News. We are going to talk about, we're moving in now to what some will say is a happy time of year, of course, with Thanksgiving, with Christmas, and with New Year's. A lot of family and friends get together and have a really joyous and happy time. But for some, it's really not that case. And joining us now is Saige Small. She is a mental health expert with the Counseling Center there in Fort Smith. Saige, thank you so much for being with us again, as you have in the past. It really is a happy time of year. And I want to start with that. This really is a time to celebrate.
It is. So there's a lot of events going on in our community right now. This is a time where we get to maybe meet up with family and friends that we haven't seen all year. It can be a very exciting and eventful and busy, very busy time of year. So there's a lot of joy that can be found in traditions and celebrations. But yeah, like you said, it's not always the case for everybody. And so it's important to talk about those differences as well.
And that's okay to be that way or to feel that way. So what are some ways to maybe cope with what everybody is dealing with, not just family and the busyness of it all, but just the aspect of this time of year?
Absolutely. This can be, like I said, an exciting time of year, but also it may bring up some memories that are really difficult for people. We may have experienced loss. We may have family members or friends close to us that have passed throughout the year. And so some of the tips that we can use are drawing attention to their memory. Are there ways that we can honor those losses, whether keeping traditions or creating new traditions, setting a place at the table or a picture or some type of memorial service. There are also a lot of community events that occur around this time. As we're moving into a new year, we may focus on some of the losses of the year and kind of reflect into what those have been. But we also have opportunities to honor it through memorial services. Several churches at this time of the year may put on kind of a dark night of the year type of experience. And it's a time where you can come in, you can sit with people who are also experiencing grief and loss and honor that, but also be in a situation where it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to acknowledge, hey, I may not be happy and bubbly like all of my friends and family are at this point because I am a little depressed or I am grieving. I am thinking about the loss that we've experienced. Reaching out to a friend or family member is another way that we can cope with that. Being able to just simply have a 7-minute phone call. We've seen that even just 7 minutes of connection with another person allows us to no longer feel as alone as we did. Sending a text message or extending an invitation. Maybe invite somebody that you know has had a loss this year to join you and your family for dinner. Another opportunity maybe have a Friendsgiving. That's one of the things I love doing with my friends because it's a time where my favorite people are in the same room. We can all bring different dishes from our different cultures and backgrounds, and we get to celebrate while being in a different environment than just with our families. But also reaching out, obviously therapeutic services are a great option, and texting or calling 988 is always a good thing if you are experiencing some increased depression or anxiety around this time.
And with the craziness of planning and shopping and spending and how do you cope? How do you deal with that kind of stress?
So I think it's important as we move into probably one of the busiest times of the year to think about what our values are. What is most important to us? Is it family time? Is it maintaining our budget and not overextending our expenses? Is it prioritizing kind of some traditions that we've done? Are there things that we want to do with our children, with our friends? If we think about our values and what is most important to us, that's going to help us make a plan for how we can stay within those guidelines. So especially with traveling, increased accommodation cost, increased expenses with just what that takes. We can also look at creating a plan for what our timeline is going to be, how we're going to stay within budget, doing a little bit of research on kind of some of the options that may be a little bit more budget friendly, but also scheduling breaks. Travel can be exhausting on its own. So being able to kind of take a break, whether it's just making a stop at a playground, to let the kids get out and run around and play, or maybe it's a stop at an amusement attraction, something fun and creative that can kind of break up that travel accommodation, can also kind of lessen frustrations and make that drive time or, flight through the airport a little more enjoyable.
But you know what? You're the one that's been tapped with planning an event, having all the family come to your house, and you're going, oh my gosh, now what do I do?
Yeah. Set boundaries. That would be my main recommendation. So set some boundaries on what you are going to provide, what you're not going to provide, and make sure that that's effectively communicated. Be able to make a clear plan for, hey, I'm going to provide this, this, and this, but if you guys can split up these other responsibilities, that would really help me out. Because I think it does. We look to sometimes kind of our older family members to be the tradition keepers and to be the ones to plan it. Or we have that designated person in our family that is like, okay, this is the person who gets it done. We know that they're going to be able to make all of the plans. But that puts a lot of additional stress and can be very tiring on those. So making sure that we're not overextending ourselves, that we are taking breaks, that we're focusing on self-care, and boundaries are self-care. Saying no is okay. You don't owe anybody an explanation for why you may choose to do things a certain way or not do things a certain way. Especially when we're talking about large groups and gatherings of people, we can't make everybody happy. We're not going to be able to accommodate everybody's individual schedules. So setting those boundaries and being able to be okay with that, that's going to be really important and vital for our mental health.
You brought it up a moment ago. Is it okay if you sense that maybe a friend or a family member is going through a little bit of trouble mentally? Is it okay to approach them, and how would you do that?
Absolutely. I think we see things sometimes, and we might, even through social media, if somebody is posting certain things or is not posting certain things, we pick up on these little cues of like, hey, something feels off, but we often are scared to reach out. And the truth thing about it is that's the easiest way to find out. Don't make an assumption. Contact that person, reach out to them, ask if they're okay, but also follow up. I think this is a time also where, people who may be grieving or experiencing loss don't want to bother other people because it is such a happy time of the year. So asking, hey, how can I be there for you? How can I support you? If you are afraid that they may be having suicidal ideations, if you feel that they may be experiencing a severe mental health crisis, don't back away from asking that question. Asking them directly is going to be the clearest way to get an answer. It also opens the door for them to truly be vulnerable and honest with you about what they are feeling and what they are experiencing. And then there are great resources to be able to get people connected within our communities for mental health services. Like I mentioned before, 988 is a real simple way to call or text and be able to be in connection with a mental health professional immediately. 911 also, you can get connected with first responders who are going to be able to find you the level of care needed for whatever your mental health experience is. But we tend to back away from asking, are you having thoughts of ending your life? Are you having thoughts of wanting to go to sleep and not wake up? Because we're afraid it's going to put it into people's minds. It's not. If they're having those thoughts, they're already having those thoughts. But being little confrontational, and it's not confrontational, it's caring, it's loving, being able to ask that directly, it opens the door. And then we can get the true help that's needed. And it's okay to not be okay. More people are not okay than what you think, but we hide it. And this is a time where it's really important to be honest about what we're feeling. And there's a whole team of people. We have an incredible mental health community that just wants to help.
I was just thinking the same thing, that if you are that person that's going through this, it's okay to not be okay, but don't be afraid to ask for help.
Exactly. It's not a burden to anybody else. You're not burdening somebody, you're not putting your problems on there. You're reaching out. And that's the most important part, because we are not made to do life alone. Humans are made for connection. Humans are made to be in gatherings and loving relationships with each other. So we need each other's support. I can't do it on my own. I have friends, I have family. Every single person on this planet needs a support system. And so building that support network and knowing who you can contact, who you can trust, and even if it is, you feel like there's nobody, being able to reach out and text, call those numbers are so important, because there's always somebody who cares.
We always hear, if you see something, say something. It really applies in this case.
It does. It does. And it allows for that human connection. We have even a large recovery network in the Fort Smith area and Northwest Arkansas that they put additional services into place at this time of the year. So there are a lot of recovery groups such as AANA, Celebrate Recovery, that are actually some are offering 24-hour services. So even on Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, there is a program that you can get connected with in person. There are also always online meetings. Several of those are 24/7. And so we can get you connected with an online meeting if you need to attend that. There's programs going on in the community right now that are specific to grieving and loss as well, such as there's divorce care programs, there is surviving the holiday programs, grief care, lots of options that several different community resources are putting into place, because we know not everybody's okay this time of the year.
It's still, though, and I want to end with, it really is a happy time of year, though.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, this is the time of year where there are extra treats that we don't always get to engage with during the year. I mean, I know that's my pain. My mom makes the best chocolate fudge on the planet, so I'm definitely partaking of that in the next month. There's events every time you turn around. I think there's even some Christmas tree lightings possibly going on tonight or within the next week. I mean, this is a great time to also get out and look at the community programs that we have in our area. There's several different holiday events going on at different historic sites, both in Crawford County, Sebastian County. It can be such a fun time of the year, but also we got to focus on what's going to bring us joy. Don't overextend yourself. Don't feel like you have to go to every event, but choose the ones that really stand out to you. Choose the ones that are fun and exciting and that make you want to kind of step outside your comfort zone and go partake and participate.
That's almost the best therapy, is just get out and try to enjoy it.
Absolutely. Honestly, one of the best pieces of advice I've ever been given is, even when you're feeling lonely and maybe you just want to stay at home and avoid people, get out, make eye contact with one person on the street and smile at them. That 3 seconds of just interaction, of just smiling at another person and having your presence acknowledged, can be so powerful. It's
Yeah.
literally just as simple as a smile.
Okay. Saige Small from the Guidance Center in Fort Smith, thank you so much. Have a great holiday season.
Absolutely. You too, Daren, and thank you so much.